Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 48 of Estate Planning TV. I'm your host, Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm, and this is the internet's most passionate show about estate planning. Welcome. I hope you're having a great week, a great month, a great year, a great everything. It is, at the time of this recording, the middle of June. The longest days of the year are here. It's really warm outside. It's amazing. And I'm just super excited to be doing everything. So I'm happy to be here talking to you. I'm happy to be here in my business. I'm happy to be playing golf. I'm happy to be hanging outside in the pool with my kids. I'm excited to be doing it all. And I hope that you are too. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're going to talk about sort of episode 2, and we're going to talk about business succession planning in the context of this new HBO show, Succession, which deals with business succession and business succession planning. So I don't know if you recall, last episode we left off, and by the way, there are some spoiler alerts in here, although less so in this show as in the last episode. I've never done sort of a review show like this, so I'm kind of refining my message as we go along. But the patriarch of the family, I think his name is Ray something. Anyway, he owns this big, huge business, and he has a stroke. Okay, that's how we leave episode 1. The whole thing blows up. Everybody's freaking out. Now, episode 2 comes in. Episode 2 really was all about who is in control. All right, and so this episode of Estate Planning TV, with regard to business succession planning, is going to be all about powers of attorney. Here's why. Powers of attorney are your first line of defense, your first line of protection, your first line of business succession planning, period. Okay, because this is going to cover what's going to be most likely the first thing that happens, which is you as a business owner lose the ability to run your business for whatever reason. Stroke, car accident, a falling tree, lightning strike, I don't know what it might, dementia, right? Alzheimer's. Obviously, we have the common ones as well. But what the power of attorney is going to do is it is going to name the person that is in charge of running your life. Now, when most people come in, we do 2 powers of attorney. We do 1 power of attorney for just sort of financial affairs, and we do 1 power of attorney for medical decisions. And in the business owner sense, you may want to have 3 powers of attorney. You may want to have your regular financial power of attorney. Let's say you're married, your spouse might be that person. You're going to have your medical power of attorney, right? Who's going to be the person that's going to be in charge of making medical decisions for you. And again, if you're married, this may be your spouse. If you're not married, it's probably a close family member. But then you're going to have a 3rd power of attorney. And your 3rd power of attorney is going to be related specifically and only to your business. Who is going to run and be in charge of the day-to-day operations of the business? Now, this may be a spouse, it may be a business partner, it may be anybody else. While they are performing these duties, they are doing so in your place. So they have a fiduciary duty to run your business. They have a fiduciary duty to make decisions that are good for the business and that are likely ones that you would make. But you may want to consider dividing these duties, because your spouse, for example, may not know much about the business. They may not know the vision. They may not know the day-to-day operations, how to write checks, how to do all the things that businesses do. Even given my example to make it real, I own and run a law firm. My wife is not a lawyer, so that makes it very difficult, or would make it very difficult for her to run my law firm if something ever happened to me. So I would have to come up with someone and create a plan for someone to step in, either in the interim or to sort of handle the movement of the business to somewhere else if something happened to me. And in HBO's Succession, this played out in real time. It was a little bit different because the business in this movie, or in this show, is so big that it was a corporation. So there are shareholders, there are public stockholders, there's a board of directors, and the board of directors then became tasked with deciding who was going to be the next in line to run the business. What's interesting though is because this was a family business, the board really, what's what I'm looking for? They sort of diverted or deflected, or those aren't the right words, but they deferred. They gave a lot of deference to the family members and who they wanted to choose to run the business. And that sparked a whole different set of problems. And we've actually, believe it or not, I think seen this play out in the real world, particularly with these big publishing companies. If you watch in the news, what happens is somebody passes away, a family member steps in, or they become incapacitated, a family member steps in, and there's a lot of controversy or things aren't run correctly. It happened with the Los Angeles Lakers NBA team when Jerry Buss, I don't know if he passed away, he could no longer run the team. His kids came up, one of them was pretty good, one of them was pretty bad, and they fought all the time, and it was crazy. But a power of attorney can sort of take care of at least that first step, particularly if you have an LLC, sole proprietorship or something like that, a business that doesn't have shareholders that can sort of vote on who the next person is. A power of attorney is going to be very important to you. The other thing that came out of this episode related to powers of attorney that I think is relevant to all of us, business owner or not, is the importance of having those other powers of attorney in place. Because what you do by naming people to these positions is essentially say, this person is in charge of this aspect of my life. And in HBO's Succession, it was interesting because you have the 4 kids, and then you had Ray, the patriarch of the family, and he was married to his second wife, who was not the kid's mom. Okay, so there's this big scene where they're in the hospital. They have I don't know what hospital they're in, but they are talking to all these other doctors at these other hospitals, and they think they found somebody that they think is a better doctor than the doctors that are here, and they are talking about moving him to another place. And there's this big scene in the show where the wife basically steps up and said, he is going nowhere. She said, I'm the medical power of attorney. I am in charge of these decisions. He is going nowhere. And you know what happened? Nothing. It all stopped. Because she's a medical power of attorney, she's in charge. She has that decision-making power. That's why these documents are important. That's also why it's important to make sure that you are naming the right people to these positions. It's not a time to really think about who's going to have their feelings hurt or who is going to be mad or whatever. These are the people that I need in this position at this time. That's who's going to go in there. So it's really critically important to have these documents. If you have a business, to make sure that you consider strongly breaking up the powers of attorney to name someone that can run the business and someone that can run the rest of your life. And then at the end of the day, just getting them done. To think about doing them, to plan on doing them, to know you should do them, if not enough. Because if you don't do them and something happens to you, your business is going to die, right? Your family's going to be in turmoil. They're going to have to spend a bunch of money to get things done that they need to get done, and it's all going to be jacked up. So don't do that, right? Don't do that. Okay, so that's it. I love this show. Like I said, if you're a business owner, you should. I highly suggest that you watch it. If you're just if you have a family, and you want to see some sort of family dynamics play out and see what this is all like, I suggest that you watch it. Like I said, it marries everything that I love. I love business. I love family. I love estate planning. It's everything all together, and I can't wait to see what the next episode brings us and where we go, where this whole thing goes. Now we're going to really get into more of a power grab and those kinds of things, I believe, with the show. But it's a great sort of what's what I'm looking for. You get a sneak peek at what is possible if you don't plan, and the kinds of things that can happen. So again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you for watching. If you, by the way, are listening to this on a podcast, if you want to leave me a review, that would be awesome. If you want to leave me a rating, that would be awesome. There's all these stars there. If you think I suck, give me 1. If you think I'm great, give me 5. But leave me a review. Let me know if this is helpful. And that's it. Once again, by the way, I'm Christopher Small. We do estate planning. We do probate. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. If you need help, please call me, 206-659-1512. Email me, chris@cmslawfirm.com. Leave a comment below if you're watching this on YouTube. And again, thanks for your time, and can't wait to talk to you next week. See ya.